So we're at the amazing S&R fishery right up on the east coast. It's cold, it's winter, and it's bait boat versus casting. That water temperature is 5 degrees, so we are proper up against it, but being honest, it still looks really good for a bite. And that is one mega looking carp. I am absolutely buzzed up holding this one, that's for sure. Awesome. Well, greetings guys, and welcome to another in-session piece from myself, Dean Watson. On this session we find ourselves right up on the east coast. We're at the amazing S&R fishery complex and we have nested on the Sandpit lake. Absolutely love this venue. I did get here sort of back end of autumn with the Fox team, managed a lovely mirror, and I promised myself I'd get back over here after seeing some of the stock that this lake holds. You know, some of those fish are absolutely fantastic, and I said I want to have another go at it. I want to be cradling some of those fish, so we thought, right, we'll come and have a go. We are into winter now. It's middle of December. It's bloody cold. It got really cold last night. I didn't get here till quite late, sort of just on dark, after I finished messing about and sorting all the kit out. So I literally just flicked the rods yesterday onto areas, watching the sun go down, and then the night followed, and it was a very cold night indeed. Clear skies, stars were out, and it dropped down to sort of -1 yesterday. I've got up this morning to an absolutely beautiful, stunning sunrise, having a cup of tea behind the rods, watching the big warm yellow thing come up was really lovely. But unfortunately the bobbins have remained very quiet, so we're going to have sort of reassess that today. Now, in terms of this session going forward, what we wanted to do on this one was do a bait boat versus casting exercise. Now, the right hand rod here, which is fishing into this bay, we're just going to use that as a bonus rod. You know, that's going to be doing its own thing. If we get a fish on that, happy days, but we're sort of going to be concentrating mainly on the two which are fishing out into the main body of the lake here at the Sandpit. So there's a big sort of hoo-ha with bait boats still, even in today's modern world where technology is definitely taken over, I suppose. Now, I'm pretty much sitting on the fence. I do like bait boats. I'll use them when I need to. There is venues that suit them, but I also love me casting as well. I love casting the lead. I love feeling the lead down. And do they matter more? I don't know. Do they mean more? I don't know. You know, for me, it's your own angling. You do whatever makes you happy. You know, regardless what other people say, it's all about you, the angler, and you individual. And whatever makes you smile, that's what you do. But we're here today, or I'm here today, should we say, to do a bait boat versus casting exercise. Now, the Sandpit holds so many different options. You've got islands, bays, overhanging bushes. There's so many options here, and they do suit bait boats. It is a venue you can use them. So the right hand rod, we're going to be fishing that on the boat, and we'll be going right into the middle of the lake there. There's a big sort of area between the islands that the fish do sort of sit in this time of year. Speaking to Jack and Lee, who the father and son who own this complex, now they said a lot of the fish have been coming out in that sort of area over the last few weeks, so we're going to be putting the bait boat into that area. The casting rod, which is going to be the left-hand rod, there's a lovely overhanging bush straight to my left-hand side here. Just off that, it's probably about 6 foot. Nice clean area, but I can get to the sort of island or the walkout area there, or, you know, there's a sort of walkout point, if you like, where I can actually hand put bait. So I'm going to be casting over there with the rig, a little bit of foam. I'm going to wait for the foam to pop up and I can literally just sprinkle bait around it. I don't want to be using a lot of bait this time of year. As I say, we are into winter now. Those feeding spells are very short in a 24-hour window. So it's up to us to put the bait and the rigs in the right place at the right time when those fish drop down and visit the areas where I'm going to be presenting my baits for the next 24-hour period. So we'll go to work on that now. I'll stop me waffling. I'm going to put the kettle on. I'm going to give these rods another hour or so. It's only sort of just gone 9 o'clock now. So we'll give them another hour and then we'll assess the situation and then we'll go to work on bait boat versus casting. I'm going to bring this left-hand rod in and it is time to sort the rods out. So it's just gone 10:30, guys. So I'm pretty sure my gut feeling is it ain't going to happen on the spots that we're using at the moment. So first things first, we'll be looking at the casting rod, which is going to be over to the point. If you look at the drone footage now, that's the point that we're looking at. So that's what we're going to be targeting. So I'm going to sort the rigs out now. We'll talk you through the rigs, what I'm going to be presenting, and then we'll get this clipped up, cast out over there so we know the distance, and then we'll go to work. So yeah, let's rock and roll with the casting rod. Right guys, so let's sort out the rigs for the casting rod. To be fair, I'm going to be using the same rigs on both rods. So what we're using on the casting will also be used in the actual bait boat. So we are here using maggots this session. The fishery does allow maggots this time of year, so we've got some lovely red wrigglers there. When I'm using maggots, I do favour the Illusion D-rig. Absolutely love the new green Illusion that we're using now, which is in the natural range in £20. And the setup I like to use on this maggot rig is the long shank wide gape hooks in a size 6. The reason I like that is when forming the D section there, as you can see, the D uses the shank of the hook, so the shape of the D extends up the whole shank of that long wide gape. And I like the idea of that purposely, is when the fish picks up the bait and it tries to eject or blow the bait out, if you like, the bait blows up the shank of the hook, and with that D being longer, the bait just moves further out of the way, allowing the hook point to be more exposed. And that's what I feel when using this hook, that comes into its own when fishing it on the Fluoro D. So with that, I'm just teaming that up with a little bug wafter, and I'm literally just going to be sort of putting on 6 or 7 red maggots on the top to perform like a Medusa style looking sort of hook bait, if you like. And I do favour using a sewing needle as opposed to a boilie needle, purposely because the sewing needle is a lot thinner, it pierces the maggot a lot easier, and the maggots just stay, I think when it's got if the maggot's pierced more supple, if you like, or subtler, the maggots stay alive longer. It's as simple as that. So that's why I like using the actual sewing needle. And that's the setup, that's the rig itself, that's what we're going to be going with. So yeah, we will get this sorted, get that casted, and then we'll head round to the point and put some bait in over the top. Right then, foam nugget is now attached. Now what I've done, I've pinched it on quite tight, which gives me enough time to get to the point and wait for that foam to kick back up to the surface. So hopefully this is a first cast, first time. So we're at that rig. Right, that's down nicely. Take that off. Let a bit of line out. And that's me done. I'm literally going to scoot round now and get that bait in. So I've arrived at the point and you can just about see the rig foam that has popped up. This is letting me know exactly where the rig is sitting. Here I'm now throwing golf ball sized maggot bags over the top. These ensure that the actual freebies sink to the bottom. Once the PVA is melted, the actual rig is surrounded by the freebies of maggots that I'm introducing into the swim. Whether I'm doing this via a spom, a bait boat, or by hand, this is the perfect way to introduce maggots into the swim and around the hook bait. I'm now just adding over the top some casters and some 10mm bug. Overall, no more than 2 to 3 medium spoms worth of bait have been introduced to the area. This same tactic will be used in the bait boat with the PVA bags of maggots, ensuring that I'm getting the freebies directly next to the hook bait. Right, let's get this boat rocking. Let's get it chugging out there to the spot. Okay. The rig is set in the left hopper. You can see the hook bait right at the top. I've attached a tiny piece of PVA foam to the hook point. This is to ensure that none of the freebies nicks the hook point on the actual drop itself. Once again, both hoppers equating to about 2 to 3 medium spoms. Now, some people like having it up, but on the way out to the spot, I literally just put my hand over the spool and well, the alarm can go off for starters. I just put my hand over the spool like so, and we'll just send the boat out nicely. In between the two islands is where we're heading. You can just see the boat coming into play now. On a bit of a tight line, so we're going to go forward and releasing the left hopper. So I'm just bringing in the boat now, guys, and I'm mega happy with how that went. So the idea of those is basically to, once I'm happy where the boat is, I'll hit the left-hand hopper. That releases the actual bait and the hook bait. And then I'm feeling that down on sort of a semi-slack line. So once it takes up the slack, if you like, I'm landing the rig probably about a foot away from the freebies. And then with the right-hand hopper, I just reverse the boat over, literally just pull it back a foot, hit the right-hand hopper, and then the freebies are landing over the actual hook bait itself. So I've got a nice bit of bait out there around the hook bait, and that's how we're playing out. So boat's back, rigs are in, and we are angling for the rest of the session. Mega happy with how both went out on the casting rod and the actual bait boat rod. So we've edged our bets. There's nothing more we can do. Got to sit tight and see if Lady Luck shines on us. I'm going to sort this right hand rod now. I'm going to probably cast that actually into the bay. I'm not sure where, like I say, that is a bonus rod, but we'll have a play with that now. And here's hoping. Over to the carp gods. Come on, carpies. Finally got round to sorting out the bonus rod, and I was set for the night ahead. I genuinely feel that I couldn't have rolled the dice any better to nick a bite at this time of year. Trap set, and it was a case of just watching the sun go down. Once again, I was blessed with another amazing sunset here at S&R Fishery. It was a case of fingers crossed and just in hope that a carp slipped up before I had to head home in the morning. Well, good morning folks, and welcome to finally a bit of calm weather. It was absolutely insane winds last night, and yeah, I'm quite happy to be waking up this morning to a relatively calm lake. But I'm grinning like as you can imagine, because we have got one in the net. There is one resting in the net at the moment, having a sulk, and I could not be happier. I'm elated, and as you can tell with the alarms there, the rod that's missing is the actual casting rod. That came good at sort of first light this morning. It absolutely tore off. I'm absolutely elated. It looks a really nice one as well. Like I say, he's just in the net sulking at the moment while I sort myself out and get the mat and everything else sorted. But a proper hairy night last night. Crazy winds again. I say I pegged, as you can see this morning, I've still got me distance sticks either side of the front door here after smacking them down last night. 2 AM last night, once again, bivvy ripped out the ground, literally my table, half of me brew that I hadn't drunk, my kettle all on my bed chair, on my face, bivvy table at the back, literally just, if it wasn't for the bed chair and me, the bivvy would have been away. It was just insane wind that came in for about sort of 15 minutes. So it was sort of a 2 AM, sort of sorting everything out and then battening down the hatches again. So I will be investing in some longer pegs for the rest of the winter. But down to the point now, we've got a fish in the net and the casting rod came good. So yeah, I'm literally so happy. We'll get the mat and everything sorted, and then we'll hoist our prize up. It looks a real nice one, nice scaly linear. So yeah, absolutely chuffed as. Get in there. Well, here we are with our prize for the effort yesterday. A lovely scaly linear, just over £17, but for December, he is absolutely more than welcome. He is mega. Look at him. Beautiful scale pattern on him. He has got a little lifted scale there, so I will treat that before he goes back for the rest of the winter in the pond. But yeah, what an absolutely cracking result, guys. You know, that is a phenomenal looking fish, and yeah, chuffed as to get it. And it was the casting rod. Like, you know, I'm not trying to say take one over the other. It was just a session that I wanted to try to do which one suited this venue, but I don't think you can look too much into it, to be fair. You know, it was just a case of it was the right spot at the right time when this fish came along. So, you know, we've got to be happy with that, and I'm just be more than grateful for cradling a carp in December, and that's exactly what we're doing. And he's mega. He's an absolutely mega little thing, isn't he? Right, I will spin the little fella around and yeah, show you the other side of this beautiful little linear. He's absolutely mega, isn't he? What a wicked, wicked fish to be cradling. Yeah, over the moon with him. Right, that is the session come to an end. I've got to be on my toes, but what a lovely, lovely little fish that is. I could not be happier that it's come good. After a really hairy night in the bivvy, it's all come good in the end. So we'll get this one back, we'll get on our toes and we'll get home. But just want to say a massive thank you for watching the feature. Thank you for watching the film. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you're loving the content. And yeah, there'll be much more coming. We upload films every couple of weeks. So that's it from me. We'll get this one back and we will see you on the next one.